Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so we have the Six of Wands, which has everything to do with victory. So you better get out and vote if you're in America. You might be the deciding factor there. All right, let's go ahead and turn this over. And so, if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Ooh, look at that face. 2 of them. Also, if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, definitely do that. I read them all. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, look, we have a face right here. Look, eyes, nose, mouth. Kind of almost strikes me as like some kind of apparition, okay? Now we have a whale over here. So the whale really speaks to a connection, but not just like a regular old connection, emotional, yes, but more than that, psychic. So psychic, a psychic connection with your family or your chosen family, your group of friends, your people, right? You can think about the whales in their little pods. They can talk to each other over long distances with their sounds, their whale sounds, the frequencies, right? And we all know this. We've all heard the whale sounds CDs. Now I'm old, so the tapes and the CDs from back in the day, now they're on YouTube. You can just come to YouTube and watch them or listen to them. And we do that for stress relief, for sleep. But this is them. They're talking to each other, and there's a closeness. There is the ability to stay in connection even when there is a lot of space between. So I believe that you are somebody very connected with your family or your chosen people, your friends group, whoever it is, right? Now, up here, we have a person. You can see the face even, and the body, and the arms up, and we have a large, it looks like a whale again, kind of. Look, the circle and the tail. And in this hand, it looks like, yeah, maybe we have the number 688, 688, or 889. 889. So one of these or both of these numbers possibly, but we definitely have the energy of the magician, right? Holding up these things that they have manifested, these magical tools, the psychic ability, the connection. Maybe you are also an empath of some kind. Now I'm looking at this. It looks like we have almost like it reminds me of a butterfly, but also a toothbrush. Up here we have a boot that has wings. Reminds me of like a cowboy boot with angel wings. So maybe somebody you knew that was in construction or kind of, worked outside. Maybe you worked on a ranch or a farm or something like that. Maybe they have transcended. That is, left their physical form, right? Passed on. And with the butterfly and the toothbrush, I immediately am thinking, there is maybe a need to either like get your checkup or you have some kind of dental issue that has come up recently and where you might usually just ignore it because let's face it, you probably prioritize other things, you know, your family members, your kids, all the stuff. And listen, it's not cheap, right? Especially if you're in the United States. The insurance is expensive and paying out of pocket, ridiculous, right? So maybe something that you usually would put on the back burner. But I see you really like getting on top of it this time. Okay. And with the butterfly, that is a sign of metamorphosis, of self-evolution. So I think that this is like a time in your life where you're learning to prioritize your needs, you know, maybe for the first time in a long time. Okay. Now, are you still feeling guilty about that? Yeah, probably. But I also think that you look around at your life and at times it feels like you are living for other people. You are, heck, living in somebody else's reality, right? Especially if you are still raising children, even if they're teenagers. You know, if you are an involved parent, you know, your whole life revolves around them and their things and their needs and the places they need to go and so on and so forth. But I feel like for you, this is the time where it's like, yeah, I need to like start taking more of a active role in my life right now. What do I need? And also, when is the last time you even thought about that? Like, what do I need? What are the things that I need? And what is the plan for me to accomplish those things? Immediately, what came to mind is something like, when's the last time you bought yourself some clothes? When's the last time you bought yourself some shoes? I don't mean like some fancy, I'm going to wear them 3 times, once to a wedding, maybe once going out, and the other time to a funeral, you know, something like that. No, just some regular old shoes that don't hurt your back. When's the last time? Don't worry, I'll wait. It's probably been a while, right? Well, now you are in the era of building up your life the way that you want it, okay? Now, this is a little morbid, and I'm just going to admit that before I say it, but we have the Magician, which in my mind represents you, okay? Now, we also have a skull right here. Here's the top of it. Here are the eyes, the nose. We also have the crow. We also have, it looks like the lobster or crawdad, which is, if you can think of the Rider-Waite's deck, right? With the crawdad in the moon card, La Luna, right? And this represents the melancholy, the sadness of the moon, the ebb and flow, you know, when the tide is all the way out, right? And so I'm looking at this, and we also have the crow, which in my mind tells me I'm going in the right direction. If I look around and I see some blackbirds, grackles, starlings, you know, red-winged blackbirds, crows, ravens, whatever, I say, hey, awesome, I'm in the right place. I'm in the right place. But they also do represent death, right? We've all read The Raven, or some of us have. I have a lot. My name is Lenor, and that is my namesake after all. So there's been death. There's been ending, right? It's standing upon the skull. Now, I don't think that this is anything that you wanted to happen, or, you know, it's not necessarily like this was your wish for something to end. This could be divorce. This could be an actual passing. It could be that you got like an inheritance. It could be the end of an era, like we talked about at the beginning. Something. But whatever it is, you are building off the top of that. This is, at least for now, what has given you the strength, motivation, inspiration, the necessity to do something else, right? To move in a new direction and become that magician. The magician to me equates to the grand architect. If you have any understanding of masonry. I have to say this is so fun. It made me laugh a little bit the other day. I posted a picture, or a couple of pictures, 3 pictures from Halloween. And my husband, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. He dressed up as the Mothman. I dressed up as a crow. Yeah, a crow. The day before, I was a hairless cat, right? A hairless cat. And my daughter, I won't go through the whole thing. She's in one of the pictures as well. Well, anyways, in one of the pictures, it's just my husband and I, and our hoods from our outfits are kind of hanging down. If you've ever worn one of these onesie outfit things that are like a costume, like the lazy costume, the hoods, like they don't lay right for whatever reason. Well, anyways, it kind of covered both of our eyes on one side. And somebody was like, Illuminati, eyes covered. And I really wanted to say something about it because I'm like, man, if we were in the Illuminati, we would be so rich. Like, we'd have so much, you would know. Like, you would know. We're just 2 normal, boring people, okay? Let me just tell you, we are just boring people. We live out in the middle of nowhere. We have our little family. We don't really have any friends except for each other. We just live in our own little world, doing our own little thing. Now, are we both interested in the occult and these different systems, including for me, not so much my husband, Freemasonry? Yes, I am. I'm interested in Freemasonry, not because of the Institute of, and there are of different kinds of Freemasonry, by the way. But because of the texts. They're the patrons of the mysteries. Now, they're not the only patrons, but they are one group, right? And like I said, there are different kinds of masonry. So there are a few groups of people within this one umbrella. And I just want to get that clear because I do talk about Masons and I use some of their phrases and I've read some of their texts and I've even read a few of Albert Pike's texts and so on. Now, you can think what you want about that. But we're just well-read people over here. Not that I read a ton anymore. I have a kid. But yeah, I'm going to read all kinds of stuff. And yes, I do partake in magic and the occult. But I promise you, I'm just a regular, boring old lady. So shout out to the person that pointed that out about our costumes. It did make me laugh. So anyways, what was I talking about with the Masons? I can't even remember now. Oh yes, the grand architect or the architect of your own reality. What this comes down to, it's not very different than being the manifester or the magician, the creator, an extension of the divine, right? An aspect of the God source. All of these things. But the architect takes an active role in creating their life, right? Both using, worldly means, but also, psychic, emotional, creative. and working within whatever your belief system is, right? Applying that to your world, because, and I have to read this. I forget. I'm so bad with quotes, but I had this. It came up in my memories the other day, or was it today? Maybe yesterday. And it says, it is from Videodrome, actually, if you've ever seen that, Videodrome. And it says, there's nothing real outside our perception of reality. Yes, we are the creator. We are the witness. We are the experiencer. Period. Right? Now, that's not to say that we can just do whatever we want. Although, yeah, I mean, I guess you could. How far that's going to get you, I don't know. But how you experience life in the world is up to you. Are you going to live in somebody else's world? Are you going to abide by somebody else's ideas of what life should be? Or are you going to be the dang old magician? The architect. Yeah, you are. You're a Scorpio. Of course you are. You're not going to live in somebody else's house. Their house is reality, right? No. And I know this about Scorpios because you all are my favorite. Well, nobody's my favorite, but elevated, right? You are all about how your life looks, how it feels, the atmosphere, the aesthetic. If I ever, which I won't be, but if I was ever rich enough, right? If I was ever bougie enough to have like an interior designer, I would absolutely say it has to be a Scorpio. I don't trust anybody else. Sorry. Maybe like an Aries. Maybe an Aries. Maybe even an Aquarius. Maybe. But Scorpio, 100%. 100%. Now, we have the letter R and P. The letter R and P. We have an animal standing on top of, it looks like a sphere of some kind. Maybe a cat, kind of playing with the yarn. And I feel like a call to having some fun, to letting your hair down just a little bit. Now, this one looks like it says S-I-R, sir. But it also kind of looks like S-I-R-I. Is that how you spell Siri? I don't know. I don't think so. But also could be Sirius, right? The star. Although there's a U in that. But still. Is there a U in? I'll tell you what. Let me look. I think there is. Yeah, obviously. Obviously, Lenor. There is. Yeah, but still, S-I-R-I. It reminds me of Sirius, the dog star, right? So I want to ask, let's ask the oracle cards, because we do have like this big arrow. And it's like something is going to show itself to you. Now, we also have a snake. We have like a little coiled snake right here. Almost kind of like, listen, there's a snake in the grass, right? Somebody that you know and trust. And the letters BC, BC. Somebody you know and trust. Letters BC related to them in some way. Doing something behind your back. I almost feel like it's almost a sense of It's like you have been trying to focus on maybe getting into a more casual place, kind of like having some fun, enjoying yourself, you know, making the most of your leisure time, which you probably don't have a ton, but when you do. But it's like this person is watching your moves, and they are really like waiting for you to slip up or to just like not be around. And I don't know what it's about. I don't know if this is like somebody who is like going after your spouse, but I feel like it's like somebody you know, right? Like this is like a friend. Maybe your job. I don't even know. I don't know what it would be. Let's ask the oracle cards. We're going to see what the Oracle of the Radiant Sun says. So what's going on with this person? So they have influence, definitely. We have the coiled snake right here as well. You can see. Look at that right here. So influence. We also have the couple there. So I'm wondering if they are... So yeah, it's your friend. This is your friend. And you have great empathy for them. So I almost feel like you felt sorry for them. And that's why you let them in. Optimism, order. Okay. So I also feel like you're in a place where you're trying to just like shift into this positivity to be more optimistic. And I feel like you are choosing to ignore some of the signs because maybe it is like, you know, I always say us Scorpio or us Virgos are much like you Scorpios. Like we are twins, right? But you're just kind of more spicy. You're like a little cooler, a little more fun, a little more passionate, a little more wild, sometimes a little more out of pocket, but you're like totally the cool one. Virgos, we do a lot of the same stuff, but we're just kind of boring at it, right? We're not as like with the flair and style and the fieriness, right? But I feel like you're trying to be optimistic about life in general, right? And you don't want to notice like this person, this snake, this dang old rat, just kind of like hanging out in your life, doing weirdo stuff. Like, no. But I do also think that as you are trying to get things in order, you are noticing some weird energies from this person, right? And maybe you have told yourself, oh, I'm just overreacting. I just am, yeah, maybe I'm somebody who's a little more paranoid about people. I just don't necessarily think that people always have the best intentions. People are out for self, right? Just like I'm out for self, like you're out for self. Now, of course, it's a spectrum. Sometimes people are just so, I mean, they're narcissistic. They have, you know, sociopathic tendencies, psychopathic tendencies. They're predators. Yeah, okay. I don't think it's all like that. But yeah, this is a person who is moving for their own betterment, right? To get their situation elevated, a little cushiony, all of that. But you're noticing it. You're starting to see what's up. All right, let's do one last one. Organization. Okay, so why though? Why does it keep... We want order, we want organization. It could be... I'm going to do two more. Extremism and escape. Okay. So I wonder if this is somebody, maybe it's not work, but maybe you belong to a group or a subculture or, you know, like a belief system, maybe even like a church, a mosque, a temple. You might be in a grade system. Heck, you might be a Mason, you know, whatever. You're part of some organization together. But listen, this person unhinged to the extreme. Now, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they are way out here on the spectrum of you know, predatory behavior. You never know. I don't know. But I do feel like there is a intuition your intuition is to escape the situation, the person, you're noticing, like, I don't want this energy in my life and it is emanating from this person and I'm out of here. I don't want to be involved with this anymore. Is it going to be an easy change? No. No, it won't be, but it's something that needs to happen. Absolutely. And maybe that's your little victory there. Getting away from it. Realizing, hey, I've had a little bit of that Stockholm syndrome going on. Whatever I thought was normal in this situation, I walk away. I get some time to kind of detox from it all. I look back and I think, dude, that was weird. That was a weird. Okay? That person was weird. That whole situation was weird. I don't like it, you know? So good for you if that's the case, that you are, you know, walking away, doing your own thing. Please be careful. Just, you know, especially somebody who wants to have control in your life, or they want something from you and they're willing to like spend all this time and effort to get it. Yeah, you got to be careful. So make sure that you're letting people know, your safe people, your support system, documenting whatever you need to, staying safe. Okay, now we're going to do our lucky numbers. 71, we have number 71, 80, 71, 80, and 22. And 22. Oh, it feels so late. Daylight savings time just ended last night. And I keep thinking like, dude, is it super late? Because it feels at least an hour later than my watch says, right? All right, so we're going to do our Mary Magdalene Oracle cards just as kind of a ending to this reading, something to punctuate it. And maybe it's just some like nice little vibes at the end, right? I love all of these different oracle decks that I've been so blessed to receive. The egg. Everything comes from within. Now, here's a story. I am obsessed with eggs in the spiritual sense. Like, it is one of the great symbols of my life. And I have little egg knickknacks and things everywhere. It is also how I won my husband. Now, I won't tell you the exact conversation because that is personal, but the way that I got in there with him when we were dating was discussing the sacred egg and our feelings about it. And that's what did it for me. I knew I was in love with this dude as soon as we had that conversation. And ever since that conversation years ago now, my goodness, almost coming, it'll be a decade pretty soon. Not exactly. I think what, 6 years or whatever, 7 years. And he still gets me little eggs and stuff, and it's just, I don't know, it's sweet. But yes, the egg, something to meditate on, most definitely. The sacred egg, definitely I have to say it is my favorite symbol in cosmology or cosmology. I always mix those two up, but yes, the egg on the mound, and the egg cracks and opens, and the universe is born. You know, the pantheons begin. And yeah, a beautiful thing, beautiful imagery. Something to definitely add to your visualizations, active imagination. I use this method, or this kind of a guided meditation, I guess you would call it, of something similar to the egg on the mound, right? And when I go to this place, this beautiful room, this interior temple that I have, one of them, I go and I commune with the egg and I ask the egg, please show me what I need to see. Show me what I need to know in this moment. Guide me towards the next thing. And whatever cracks and arises from that egg, whatever shape or symbol or word or impression, energy, whatever it is that shows itself to me, then I know that's where my attention needs to be, whatever it is. Heck, it could be like French toast. The egg says, hey, use me to make some French toast. All right, I know I'm being silly. It's time for me to get going here. Scorpio, I love you. I hope you know that. And it's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. I enjoy this time that we share together so much. And so if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing that. It is free. Also, if you want to leave a comment, yes, do it. I read them all. I love hearing from you. Other than that, I just want to tell you, especially if you're in the United States, please just take a deep breath. I have no advice. Everybody is tightly wound up this week, and we're going to be, right? It's election week. It affects everybody, even if you're not in the United States. But, you know, just please be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Try to take it as easy as you can. Do whatever you need to do to stay grounded. We're going to get through everything. We always do, don't we? It'll be all right. I promise you. Everything is as it should be. And with that, I'll say again, I love you. We'll talk again in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.